Kinda boring, bugged and pointless 5/10.
1/10.
Bad sense of direction, not one invisible wall to prevent you to do things you should not do.
Find me map.
Staring at purple textures is the last thing you want to do when booting up a map. The map has no intro cutscene, which I respect. Straight into action. Action as an invisible wall seconds into gameplay, followed by another one right after. An apartment with an invisible wall. Can you imagine that? Now, the apartment setting in this takes a lot of liberties compared to real apartments. Washing machines are placed right in front of hallways and entrances, random boxes of metal laying in the staircase that have an invisible force field. But all in all, this beginning section is the best part of the campaign. It flows the best. Supplies, if you look for it. Ending up on the roof, we meet some pretty heavy cargo, like some cargo ship type deal just laying on top of this apartment. This tank spawn right here is scripted for some reason, and I've tested this too. I've ran through this campaign 3 times, and this tank is here destined to spawn no matter what. It's not a problem, just weird. Why does the tank have to spawn here? Why not just do what Coldstream did and had a little pizzazz to it to set the mood? This obviously has some sort of story significance if it's scripted. Maybe the map creator just did what he pleased and decided to have a tank scripted here for some reason. The lighting on these cargo boxes are wonky, leading to a panic event. Now, I know these usually make no sense in custom maps, but what exactly is setting off the alarm? What is the alarm attached to? Where does this fence go? Better yet, why is opening a fence, which I'm assuming prior apartment residents have used since it was so easy to get up here? In fact, it's attached to an apartment room, which must mean that either this had no thought put into it or I'm just thinking too deeply about it. Anyways, the bots die here.
Ah!
In this chapter, I witnessed one of the most mind-bending glitches ever seen. I skipped this chapter by complete accident. The first time this chapter loaded, I spawned with the tank music playing. Before I knew it, the tank mutilates one of the bots and instantly goes after my ass. I have nowhere to go, so I just accept my fate. I mean, what else was I supposed to do? Juke the tank in a freaking small box? Once the map resets, it spawns me in a completely different location. Again, the tank music is already playing. The little tunnel here makes this tank a damage check, since you really got nowhere else to go. He kills Lewis, and I just retreat back into the safe house. Then, completely out of nowhere, the chapter complete music plays. In most cases, I would accept what the map creator has put out and leave chapter 2 as is, that it's unfinished. But this video would only be minutes long if I did that. Let's take a look at what the average Left 4 Dead 2 custom player would have missed. Somehow, we went from an apartment complex to a farm, though I doubt farms look anything like this. If you do come around to playing this map, the question of how these farmers navigated through these farms is going to be completely left unanswered. It's completely nonsensical how this map looks and plays. We run through crops into a slope, parkouring around the roofs just to make it to the other side of the farm. Ammo piles are replaced with toilet bowls. Remember, these ammo piles are everywhere except bathrooms, and we're not a landfill or a dump, so a toilet bowl being in the roof is the last place I would put an ammo pile, as a toilet bowl no less. There's this pole where it seems like you will walk up, but you actually can't because of an invisible wall. This has got to be one of the worst cases of invisible walls I've ever seen. The map direction is really fighting with the player. You struggle to find where to go. The map out of nowhere does a little trolling, and the really funny thing is that you would have missed this entire troll if you didn't care enough to play through this chapter. We run into another panic event which leads to a giant castle. I'm starting to think this map was inspired by Resident Evil 4. Now there's a gas can here that's highlighted this entire time, but you can't actually use it. There's a generator here where you need to press E to start the panic event for the fence to disappear. Now I'm no detective, but this seems like an idea that never came to life. Maybe the map creator was in a rush for something, but nonetheless, a highlighted gas can usually means to have it in hand until the end, which is what I did at the beginning, just to find out it never really mattered. We see a safe house clipping through a slope and the map ends. We end up in a desert. It seems like this was an intentional thing the map creator has done, this whole teleporting around with no sense of cohesion or connection. Now mind you, we're 3 chapters in and we're on the final chapter of Cave Tour. We've been to an apartment, a farm, castles, deserts, and now this? We're at the end of the entire campaign and we've yet to see a cave at all. Instead, we just see another generic panic event. This activates 2 tanks and opens a latch on the floor that looks like death. But no, it's actually where we're supposed to go. The water breaks our fall. Imagine trying this in real life. And finally, we apparently get to the cave part of Cave Tour. But it's at the end of chapter 3. And not only that, this section only lasts a couple of minutes. It's only worsened by the map's attempt at a maze area. What was the map creator's intention here? For you to go through each hall to find the right door and proceed before the ceiling crushes you? If you guess right the first time, the cave part of Cave Tour ends in less than a minute. Now there's a safe room, not an escape or anything. Closing the safe house door will have a short delay until the campaign actually ends. Definitely one of the most unique ways I've seen a campaign end. Cave Tour 0 is the first of a series of maps that I've played a long time ago, and for some reason this series of maps stayed in my mind ever since. This is the first of many of the weird series. Maybe they'll get better, maybe they'll get worse, but I'll leave that for another video. Cave Tour 0 has many issues we've seen before. Visible walls right in front of the player's face, blatant lack of playtesting, bugs that completely skip entire chapters. The bots barely work in this, and just like By Mountain, it also even affects the infected AI. This map is a 3 out of 10. If you're like me, you speed ran through this campaign due to the skipping of an entire chapter by accident. Other than that, this map is pure clickbait and false advertising. Cave Tour, and we only see a cave for less than a minute.